Today, believe it or not, thank you for coming by. Tori Magoo 44 is May 25th, and this is the day, May 25th, 1974, I got married. And unfortunately, due to leaving the Church of Scientology, my now ex-husband stayed in Scientology, remarried a Scientologist, and there you go. But I had a lot of years of good marriage. And so there you go on that. I wanted to tell you that. Happy Memorial Day weekend for anyone in America. And I wanted to tell you today a couple things. One, someone wrote me saying their friends didn't believe that the stuff that was on the internet about Scientology was true. And I understand. It's very weird stuff. It's very hard to believe. And especially if you know Scientologists. Because people think, well, they're so nice, they're so this, they're so that. And that's true, they are. We're not talking about them for the most part. We're talking about the guys running the Church of Scientology. Often the people in the Church of Scientology have no clue what is really going down. I certainly didn't, and I was in for 30 years and didn't wake up until probably the last second before I left. You know, it was pretty amazing. And I still was kind of in my own bubble until I got out, literally. I mean, when I was chased across the country, Bob Minton in the Tampa airport with the police, the police helped get me out of the Tampa airport, and Bob Minton started saying, ladies and gentlemen, the reason for this upset is because of the Church of Scientology. I left because I hated David Miscavige, and I put my mouth over his hands and said, don't say that, that's my church. You know, which is really funny now, I mean, to me. But at the time, I was dead serious on it. So it's pretty tricky. It's very insidious, and I'm going to do a little series on, what is Scientology? But this is kind of going to be the beginning of it. How do you get soaked into this kind of a thing? This is like the first step on how do you get soaked in. How did I get soaked in? Well, I read this book, this exact book. Somebody read, I have all these little things on it because I later did Book 1 seminars. They call this Book 1, where it's the first book that L. Ron Hubbard wrote. And someone gave it to me from my high school and said, you can keep it. And I said, really? And I only read about 3 chapters, but I read about a state called Clear. And my grandfather was a doctor, and I really dug it. And I wanted to kind of be a doctor. But I thought, I'm never going to make it all through college and medical school and blah, blah, blah. And so I thought, this is even better. I can clear people of their reactive minds. How great is that? And I'll have no somatics. No pains, perfect memory, perfect IQ. That's the original definition of clear. So that's what I joined Scientology with. I had an argument with my dad, hitchhiked over to Chicago, started in on Scientology. That's what it was. Now, let's take another one. Somebody's walking down the street and someone says, would you like to have a free stress test? And they're like, well, okay, I will. And they pick up their cans and they say, think of a time when you were stressed out. They're like thinking, they're like, okay. They go, all right, recall that thought. That. And they're like, wow, that was what I was thinking. And they're like, And they said, well, that's right, because we in Scientology have tools to help you, and this is one of them. Can't really explain all of it to you right now, but what's really ruining your life, would you say? Your name's Jacqueline. What's ruining your life? Well, it's funny that you run into me today because I just broke up with my boyfriend, so I'm kind of having trouble with relationships. Okay, well, there's a chance that Scientology could help me with that. Would you like to come over to Celebrity Center and, we can explain it to you? Do you have some time? Well, I do. Yeah, I do. All right, so we go over to Celebrity Center, and they go, we're going to bring you in to see someone we call, this is Mary. She's the registrar. Why don't you walk in there? And in the meantime, all these people have come, hey, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm so happy that you came. This is really great. You're going to love it. You're going to really love it. And so I go in to see Mary, and this is Mary, the registrar. She doesn't have on these glasses, but this is really about how it is. And she's like, oh, Jacqueline, I'm very happy you came in. Now, you just broke up with your boyfriend, I heard, and I'm very sorry about that. So how do you feel about relationships? How are you doing with your relationships? On your, you did a personality test, I see, which you'd done before you came here, and it looks like you're kind of low on relationships. and having problems with them. Is that sort of ruining your life? And she's like, mm-hmm. All right, well, we think you should do the communication course. I think that will definitely help you with it, and it has some very basic tools that'll help you. Okay, and how much is that? $40. All right, so pay her the $40. Now, Jacqueline's not thinking, well, this isn't too bad. You know, it's like $40. I'll do the course, and that'll be that. She doesn't know behind the screen there's like 1,000 people on staff that have every intention of getting her on to the next course and the next course and the next course. But she doesn't know that at this time. So now she's on the communication course. She walks in, and everyone's like, hey, here's Jacqueline. She's the new person on course. And you're going to be twinning with Mary. Okay, that sounds good. And so here's your check sheet. And so the first thing that you're going to study is something that we call, L. Ron Hubbard called Keeping Scientology Working. And there it is. And it's actually written in paper. This was a little thing someone made that I got. I don't even know how. I got it when I was in Scientology. But anyway, you start reading it, and then they can check you out on it and see if you know it. And if you stumble at all, you have to find what words you don't really understand. So right away, it's sort of building you into this mind control. Let's say you kind of go, you know, this is a little weird for me. I've got to tell you, Mary. I mean, I read on the internet that you guys do this kind of stuff, and this is just a little trippy for me. I'm not really happy with this. And she's like, really? All right, well, let me get you to the supervisor. And she goes and gets the supervisor, and you have to tell the supervisor the same thing. And they say, you know what, we're actually going to have to send you to ethics because there's another person that you have to talk to. And here's this book that you have to buy. It looks pretty snazzy. It's got some fabulous information in it. So you like buy the book, and now you go to ethics. You don't have to buy the book ahead of time, but generally people do. Now you go to ethics, and they're like, okay, what's happening? And you're like, well, I don't really know. I mean, I read this stuff on the internet. I wasn't, they said that, you do all these things where you can never disagree with you guys and this and that. And I don't know, it's just kind of weird. I'm not feeling too good about it. And they said, well, L. Ron Hubbard knew exactly what that was. And here's what it is. It's a condition of doubt. And you need to do the doubt formula. And see how long it is? But it doesn't really take too long. It's kind of like you have to inform yourself honestly of the actual intentions and activities of that group, project, brushing aside all bias and rumor. 2, examine the statistics of the individual group, project, or org. 3, decide on the basis of the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics, and you've already learned what dynamics are, and whether or not it should be attacked, harmed, suppressed, or helped. And then 4 is evaluate oneself and one's own group, project, or org as to its intentions and objectives. Evaluate one or one's group, project, or org statistics, because of course everything's statistics in Scientology. Join or remain or befriend the one which progresses towards the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics, meaning Hubbard said you were surviving on 8 dynamics, right? Which has to do with yourself, your family, your group, all of mankind, matter, energy, space, and time, which is like physical universe stuff, animals. I always forget if 5 and 6, but it's like all living things. And then 7 is spirits, and 8 is the supreme being, whatever you believe that to be. So he said all of us are surviving on one of those dynamics. So you have to figure out now which of these groups would be the greatest good for the greatest number of dynamics, and do everything possible to improve the actions and statistics of the person, group, project, or org one has remained in or joined, and suffer on up through the conditions in the new group if one has changed sides, or the conditions of the group one has remained if, in wavering from it, has lowered one's status. So that's doubt. After doubt, you have to do liability, where you have to literally physically make up the damage and then get signatures from everybody in the group to be allowed back in the group. So it's pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy thing. So anyway, Now, the ethics officer hears what you have to say and says, you know what, I think you need to do the PTSSP course before you do the communication course, because you're PTS. You're a potential trouble source. You're obviously connected to someone, even if it's the internet, that's suppressing you. And so you need to learn about this PTSSP stuff. So you're like, okay, so I'm going to send you over to Mary again. So now you're back, and she's like, hey, you're going to love the PTSSP course. It is so fabulous. It works in everything in your life. So everybody here does it. And a bunch of other people come around, oh, I did it. It's so great. It really helped me a lot. And it's $140. And you're like, $140? It's like, look, how much is it for you? We're going to help you with your relationships. So, what's $140? And this is going to help you for the rest of your life with people that are holding you down and tricking you and doing things. I'm like, okay, so she writes a check. There you go. All right. So now, there you go. That's one person. And I'm not going to go through the course because I need someone else for that. And they're going to do a video with me pretty soon. Not today. I tried to talk them into it, but not today. So this is number 2 person who's out in the street and just, kind of like walking along and smoking a cigarette. Hey, what's happening? You want to do a free personality test? Oh, yeah, sure. I'll do one. Or, a stress test. Free stress test? Oh, yeah, sure. What the hell? This is Scientology, right? Oh, yeah. I heard about you guys. You're kind of wacko, right? All right, well, let's do a stress test. Okay, recall a time when you were stressed out. Okay. Okay. Recall that thought again. That was it. That was the thought I had. Why? What was in that? What's in that e-meter? What is that? That's kind of weird. Hey man, I'll be with you in a minute. Okay, so we're from Scientology and we wanted to help you. So we're very interested in that. And what are you doing in your life? Are you working? Oh no, man, I ran away from home and, screw that. I'm not staying there. I'm kind of living out in the street and that's just the way it is. I don't really know what I'm going to do with my life. Well, do your parents have money? Nah, not really. Even if they did, they're not going to give me any money. That's why I ran away from home. They're just a bunch of creeps. But I sort of heard Scientology could help me, but I don't know, you look kind of weird too. And they go, so is there anyone in your life that has money? No, not really. In fact, you have a light? I could use a light, man. And they're like, you know what? I'm really sorry. I hope we could help you, but we can't today. We've got to go. So good luck to you in your life. There's the door. And that's really how the Church of Scientology is. If you've got money, they've got all day for you. If you don't have money, there's the door. And that is the Church of Scientology. So that's the beginning of my series on what is Scientology. And just kind of some specifics of specific things. And that was a couple people that it might happen to. If you have questions on it, please write me and let me know. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe, have fun, and ciao.